Hello, everyone, or good evening if you're in pitch darkness like I am, Stygian black, as Lovecraft would write or say. Uh, Today, I wanted to talk to you about heart space. This question appeared just when I was meditating out there. Just to brag to you that I do meditate every once in a while, that happens. And it came up in many conversations before, and I've heard some people speak about it as if it was a bit of a problem. And something came to me in how to convey it in a way that nobody else did before, or at least nobody else that I listened to. But wait, you say, hang on. This guy actually wants to talk about the beautiful green chakra of heart, and he's wearing grey. And as much as black is usually not recommended in most magical paradigms, especially the Western ones, yes, Baba Yaga and all that stuff, grey is just bad manners, right? So I'll tell you a story. Once upon a time, I was doing a bit of a shamanic ritual, and the lady that was leading it, I was wearing my favorite hoodie, which is like 10 years old. It's really a rag, but I just adore it, and it's exactly the same. See, it has a letter B. It's B, not E. It's your perception that's wrong, not the hoodie. Uh, this is the garment I feel most comfortable in for some reason. I run in it, I paint, I sleep in it sometimes, and it works as the most universal garment on the planet because it's thin and worn. Okay, too much information. But the story here is she goes, you are the colors, not the garment that you're wearing. I was concerned, that it's gray, it's kind of dark gray, so it's mid-ground between two colors that I probably shouldn't be wearing because my subconscious will pick it up. And you see what's happening here? The brain picks up those perceptions and stacks them one upon another. What will happen if? What's the worst that can happen? Will I have a bad experience because of that? And with that, she just dispelled it immediately. It just gone, and I allowed myself, and I'm still allowing myself to wear whatever I damn please, whenever I damn please. Okay, I wouldn't probably wear a t-shirt to theater, but that's because I'm playing a social role, not because I'm being me. All right, no emotions associated with my garments being somehow inappropriate, somehow, I don't know, off-putting, maybe the right word in the case of this hoodie. Yeah. There you go. Fixed it. How'd you... hang on, it compensates, right? Hey, that's cool. I should devote entire video just to that. Okay, so heart space. When you think human consciousness, actually any sort of consciousness, it interfaces with 3D world using senses. Decreasing light. Using senses, right? So most of you, if we trust the university knowledge that I was imbued with, is tuned to perceive it through visual sense of vision. Well, there are different approaches to it, right? And in the more mystical world, it's much more evenly distributed. But the official psychological knowledge from those times, it was a long time ago, was that if your visual sense is impaired somehow, then auditory kicks in. Then this is your leading sense, the leading source of communication with the environment. And if this is damaged somehow or insufficient, then the kinesthetic, then the sense of touch or experiencing, kinetic energy, so to speak, kicks in. So if you think of yourself as your senses and you try to find yourself in your heart space, you're trying to focus your senses on it. And what happens is you're trying to point your finger at something, that's a metaphor, trying to point your finger at something, and you're focused on the finger instead of what you're pointing at. So, when you look at your heart, See what I said? I said look, because language doesn't have a 5D word for it, right? When you experience your heart, okay, that's better. Keep going. Think of your senses as a distraction. When you start meditation, when you concentrate on your senses, or if you're going to sleep, for example, and you're doing one of those practices that goes through each of the senses, one after another, that's basically it. Just let your senses do their thing. Try to perceive your heart. Because how can you look at your heart? Can you think of this absurdity? We don't actually look with our eyes if you think about it. We just consume the image that's projected on them. That's why Greeks believed that eyes, no, actually that's the other way around, but Greeks believed that eyes projected photons, and the photons bounced off and then they returned to the eyes. This was their idea of how sense of sight works. So if you try to think of your heart, focus on your heart, you're trying to see it in your mind's eye. If you try to go a step further, perhaps, and see from the inside of your heart, right? See from the area where your heart is, you wind up in the same problem, just one floor higher. You try to define your consciousness through the concept of vision. So whatever sense you're using, and you feel that it hinders you, that it clouds your perception, just let it play through and move on. And what you'll be left with is probably the senses that you'll use the least. So the sense of touch, you will feel the rhythm of your heart through your body, and just pure consciousness, thinking in this direction. It's enough that you actually think of your heart, and not strain your brain like, oh yeah, I have to focus on my heart now, like, in Hollywood movies. The more you screw up your face, the more focused you are. It's the more gentler, the more in the background, the more the perception is background. Actually, yes, that's the way the reptilian brain is. The better. All right, so this is it. I think I managed to define heart space the way I wanted. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.